Ladies and gentlemen, another cracking meeting here at Belmont for WA Day, race day, the public holiday, which is on Monday. Fantastic meeting. I'm here with Chief Steward Brad Lewis, and Brad will run through the Steward's report for the day. The track again held up magnificently after some rain overnight.
That's right, Mark. I managed to hold its rating of a good 4 throughout the day, so we saw some good times recorded, and particularly in the last race, a very slick time.
Absolutely. We'll get straight into it. Race number 1, WA Day plate over 1,200 metres, which was for the 2-year-olds, and Minus Looks the winner will now be sent for a spell, Brad.
That's right, just showing some signs of shin soreness there, Mark. So off to the paddock for the winner. Verve de Vega, we got that advice that this horse would lead if possible, and we did disseminate that information, and trainer Sean Casey was reminded just of his obligations under the rules to let us know within a required time frame. None Too Savvy, quite an interesting incident there in the straight where it overreacted after getting struck over the nose by the whip of Renee Forrest, Cosmic Ballet, which just rolled outwards slightly there, Mark, at that stage. And Jason Whiting did put forward that there was an overreaction by None Too Savvy to that. Royal Missile was expected to be up on the pace, a bit fractious in the barriers as reported by Peter Nucky, and was slow into stride and lost a length. That put it back, then had to work hard after that.
Moving on to race number 2, the Amelia Park handicap over 1,200 metres, and Shady Grey was quite disappointing after being one of the top picks in the market.
That's right, and the rider put forward the race in a flat manner today, Mark. Vetted out okay, so it's just a substandard performance there through being flat. And Fremont was held up and got onto heels at about the 300 metres, had to be steadied. And we did inquire into an incident not long after straightening where Mystic Maid and Paturi Jewel made contact, and jockey P. Carberry was cautioned. I told them to make sure he's fully clear before moving outwards in future, as there was contact to Paturi Jewel, which was tiring, and it lost ground after that.
Bit of competitive riding there for sure. Now on to race number 3, Weddings at Ascot handicap over 2,200 metres. Now it was pretty clear this race, but Uncle George was a bit fractious in the barrier.
It did, and got its head up at the start there too, Mark, and Star Exhibit at Lambwoods quite significantly in the straight, and the rider actually fumbled his reins near the 250 metre mark, slipped Talker, raced keenly through the early middle stages.
Race number 4, the fast track to 2016-17 membership handicap over 1,600 metres. Galaxy Sun was quite a disappointing performance and took a misstep at the turn.
Yeah, it did, Mark. A couple of missteps there. One about the 500 metres, which was quite significant, and also again at the 400, actually a blunder there. So we did inspect that section of the track, and there were found to be no great issues with it. So just one of those incidents where Galaxy Sun just misstrode. It has vetted out okay at this stage, but we'll see how the horse cools down in the next few days. The Cobbler, it was held up until about the 100 metre mark, and Windsor Moment, it was caught wide and impeded for a short distance on straightening.
On to race number 5 now, the Kieran Megumi handicap over 1,600 metres, and Dusha Zakitsky, one of the market leaders again, was impeded for clear running and was taken inwards to try to find a run, Brad.
Yeah, one of a number there, Mark, that were held up in the straight. Reverend John was taken out at the 200 metres. Sigil held up from on straightening until about the 100 metre mark also. And we saw an improved performance there from Lord Conrad. Mike Storer put forward, that was the trainer that had drawn far more attractively to today as compared to a recent starts where it had been getting back in the field, was able to jump and be close and get some cover, and he felt was able to settle better as it over-raced at its last run, and also back in class, which made the difference to Lord Conrad. Tonka Tough, there was some crowding there over the final stages, just movement either side of Tonka Tough. However, we did speak to Apprentice Bonner and told her that she needs to make an earlier and greater effort to keep her mounts straight when riding them out in the straight in future. Musgaze, Lucy Warwick put forward, wasn't expected to lead, but after getting out very well, didn't want to restrain Musgaze and was allowed to stride forward to lead.
Race number 6, the Belmont Bonanza handicap over the 1,000 metres, and Cool Passion, the race favourite and the eventual winner, was wide throughout the race.
Yeah, looking at the speed maps there, Mark, it was probably always going to happen with a number of horses, an abundance of pace there. Long Knife was caught wide, as you said. Cool Passion also travelling. Jack and Sam looked unlucky, really couldn't get clear until the 200 metre mark. Caribbean Cruise, another unlucky runner there, Mark. It got onto heels at about the 300 metre mark. That was when Iron Jacket just started to tire and drop back a little bit, and that certainly disadvantaged Caribbean Cruise.
Race number 7, subscribe to Perth Racing newsletter handicap over the 1,000 metres, and Military Rain was held up on straightening and had to wait to the 150 to get a clear run.
It did, and prior to that, it also slipped at the start, was the report from the rider. Dawn Approach caught wide, as was Peninci, and it also Lambwoods, and got off heels at about the 200 and continued to lane and was impeded over the final 100 metres of the race.
Race number 8, the last of the day, was the Tab Touch Handicap, over 1,200 metres, and Heavyset was a late withdrawal after playing up in the stalls over there.
Yeah, severe abrasions there, Mark, to the inside of its off hind stifle. So on veterinary advice, this horse had to be taken out. Just awaiting a veterinary report on Temporize again. It tired in the straight. There was a heart abnormality there last start, so we'll see what the vets say with Temporize shortly. Sir Park, although under pressure, Mark, was impeded over the final 100 metres.
And as we have been doing the last couple of weeks, Brad, specimens were taken from the winners.
Yeah, that's right, and a number of other runners there selected for also urine samples pre-race and also pre-race blood specimens, Mark. They can all be seen in the Stewards report.
And as we always say at the end of the Stewards report, it'll be available on the Chris website within about 30 minutes, Brad.
I would say, given the day we've had, that's right, Mark. Should be up in about 30 minutes to 45.
Wonderful, and that's a WA race day here at at Belmont rather. Done and dusted, and we'll see you on Wednesday for another race day at Belmont.